My name is David Connors, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of The Swarm. But before we jump into that, I live in San Anselmo with my wife and two kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and it's great to see a few of my neighbors out in the crowd tonight. Shout out to Javi, who we're in a nanny share with. And favorite restaurant is Kuranami in San Anselmo, so definitely check that out if you haven't been there yet. All right, so a little bit about The Swarm. I've only got a few minutes, so I thought I'd just tell you a quick story about how The Swarm came about. Before I started this, I was working at a venture firm called Sequoia Capital, a little boutique VC firm down on Sand Hill Road. They acquired my last startup. It was a bootstrapped recruiting automation company, one of those right place, right time, right price moments, and they wanted the tech exclusively for their portfolio companies. So I was then in-house at Sequoia as a founder and resident. My mandate was to try and figure out how we could help the portfolio companies to succeed and to grow like some of the other successful portcos like Airbnb and DoorDash. And what I kept coming back to was the actual power of Sequoia's network and how Sequoia could give these portcos this unfair advantage in company building, both for bringing in the right talent, as we talked about today, how critical those first few hires are, but as well as introducing them to customers and giving them access to big enterprise logos, as well as to other investors for follow-on fundraising rounds. So we tried to figure out how can we operationalize Sequoia's network in a better way. And I worked pretty closely with the data science team to build some internal products, and a lot of data went into figuring out how we can both map and then leverage Sequoia's network in a better way. After I left Sequoia in 21, I hit the end of my vest and shook off the golden handcuffs and wanted to get back to building my own company. So I started The Swarm with the idea of leveraging the company's network. We obviously had LinkedIn, but it was more optimized for individuals, right? And the collective network of a firm is very different than just one individual's network on LinkedIn. So what I started to talk to customers about was, how are we doing it today? A lot of people were even downloading their LinkedIn as a CSV and trying to push that into a big spreadsheet, which was immediately outdated and stale and was really cumbersome because it didn't talk to any of their systems. And we're thinking, how can we think about this from the ground up, right? How can we map the company level network without needing the individuals to all go through this painful onboarding flow of signing up for this new platform and downloading a Chrome extension or connecting their email? So that's where the Swarm came in. We built this AI agent that in the background goes and maps a company level network and actually is looking at the employees and investors' networks, and then it starts mapping all of their former colleagues, their college overlaps, who they, for investors, who they invested in, who are all the execs of those portcos, and starts building out this relationship graph in real time for that specific company. So what it might look like is you ingest your networks and then you have these different relationships, right? So Zach and I, for example, we've met for coffee, we've swapped emails, we're connected on LinkedIn. There's a bunch of different signals that then go into saying that's a strong relationship. David Lewis and I have met up, and we're also connected on LinkedIn. You're going to hear from him later today. But maybe that's more of a familiar relationship. And then there's a couple of folks here who will be presenting that I haven't met with, but maybe I'm just connected with on LinkedIn. So we carve out the signal from the noise. And how this works is today, sales and revenue teams are using it to find warm intro paths into their target accounts. We have recruiting firms using it for finding interesting talent in their network. And obviously we have some investors and founders trying to find investors to get warm intro paths into those people they're trying to talk to. So if you're interested in learning more, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. The stage that we're at, I should mention, we're at Seed Plus stage. Today we actually just announced we've raised now 8 mil total. HubSpot Ventures just invested. We are about to close in on about 2 mil in ARR, and that's 10x over the last 12 months. So things are starting to take off, which is really exciting. But feel free to talk to me at the lunch table afterwards if you want to learn more, and you're welcome to try it out on the website for free. Thanks very much.